Good morning, everyone. As a medical physicist, we routinely routinely create a multiple treatment plans for a single patient, often 3 to 5 or more. And surprisingly, all of them may look almost identical. Uh, Similar dose statistics and comparable dosimetry quality, and it may have a clinically acceptable outcomes as well. But the challenge is, if all the plants looks equally good, so which one we should we actually treat? So the answer lies behind the dosimetry, in understanding the plant complexity and the deliverability of the the treatment plan. So the real problem is, we don't see what happens between the control points. Today, I will show you how to bridge that gap. So using this particular plan delivery simulator. Fine. Most importantly, with the plan complexity metrics. Before jump into that, I have a small disclaimer. Okay. So now let's be clear. Uh, it's developed by a Varian Medical Affairs Applied Solution, and it's a open source application. It's a web-based one, local host tool. The main limitation we need to understand before get going into this further. So first thing is that it's not clinically validated, and it cannot replace the PSQA and the meson log analysis. And mainly, it's not a real machine feedback. Okay, it never uses the log files, and also it never gives the actual delivery errors. Okay, actually we are feeding only a RT plan in DICOM format, uh, and it's a simplified physics. It does not do a dose calculation or the scattering model. Okay, and and the thing is that it's a simulation, not a measurement, but it is extremely a powerful insight tool. So what this tool can do is that visual learning, and it is perfect for teaching and evaluating the VMAT delivery, and it can be used for QA pre-analysis, predict complexity before the measurement or the delivery by means of plan complexity metrics. And research point of view, we can correlate more. Research point of view, the direction is completely different and it is limitless. Okay, we can compare the complexity with the versus GPR, time versus accuracy. We can expand the idea and the logic behind the plan complexity metrics, and it gives the very powerful planning insight. By understanding like why the plan is difficult to deliver, and where exactly the modulation spikes and which particular control point. Okay, so if you are keep on using it, we'll found a pattern that um, where exactly the modulation is getting tighter, and which point of the which control points is, in a simple way, which gantry angle we are giving a very tight constraints. By changing the objectives and constraints, we can like make it stable or smoother way also. Medical physics knows this. However, each control points defines each control points having information of data like MLC position, gantry angle, MU weightage, and dose rate informations. But the real challenge is what happened between these points, the transition between the successive control points. The simulator interpolate this particular motion with the real constraints. Okay, leave speed limits, gantry rotation, and dose rate modulation, acceleration, deceleration also for the gantry, and this gantry and also MLC. So this is not an animation. This is a physics-driven motion. Uh, Now, if you look at the simulator, okay, so we have two type of simulators. One is this particular simulator, advanced plan delivery simulator. It's for a single plan. Okay, we have to choose a particular file, RT plan DICOM format, and the structure set as well. We have to upload it, and then we will have a visualization of this point. And the second one is that comparing the multiple plans. We can able to compare. So for a single patient, we did a multiple plans. We just want to know like which one is giving has a better plan. Like that. In this way, we can able to compare. Okay, so see in this case, like we can able to see which we can justify it based on this results. Okay, so in short, we have two different simulators, mm, two different sets. Like one is for single plan, the second one is for the multiple plans. Okay, so if you're moving on to the single plan, like advanced plan delivery simulator, um, has a 12 different parameters. Fine. So the first parameters, one, two, three, four, five. So the first are the beam parameters are given. After this, these seven parameters. Okay, these seven from average leaf gap to the modulation complexity score V. It is dedicated for plan complexity metrics. And these metrics help us understand the plan in a better way. Okay. Um, Now, so this is the radial plot. I'm zooming in for you. Okay. This is the radial plots. Okay. Or the polar plots, we can say it anyway. Okay. These are not just the graphs. It's a fingerprint of a delivery, treatment delivery. Okay. So it is this particular angle. This is the gantry angle. Okay. And the radius is for the metric value. In this metric value, it's like it's a dose rate. So this is 0. If the radius increases the up to 600. Okay. So you can able to see different radius also in the dotted circles. Okay. So if we can able to see and the shape in the yellow color, it is mentioned the modulation behavior. How the modulation for this particular control point and the gantry angle vice versa. In the particular gantry angle, how the modulation is behaving. Okay, we can able to see that the dose rate is rapidly changing in this particular intergantry angle and slightly reducing and keeping in between that. Just okay. So that is that we can able to see it here also. The dose rate values will be mentioned here. Okay, I'm just checking. Okay, if changing this, this is the control point sector. We can able to check this control points. If we change the control points, we can able to see the changes in the actual value. We can able to see it here. Okay, this is about the radial plots. Okay. Mm, this particular part of this video, uh, this particular part of this part one of this video, I'm just going to simply giving you an overview and workflow of this simulator. In the second part, I'm going to explain the each and every plan complexity matrix. And the third video, I'm going to explain break down this complexity matrix in a focused way. Fine. Okay. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you that where we can get these uh, open source application, and I'll give you the link in the comment and the YouTube description also. Fine. So once we run this program by choosing this file, just click on the choose file here and select a plan and the same structure set. Once it is selected, uh, we can able to see machines that, but it will fetch the values from this diagram file, machine speed and acceleration limits. Okay, so machine gantry speed per second and acceleration and deceleration, MLC speed, same way for MLC's acceleration deceleration, collimator speed and same, and beams start overhead in milliseconds and counterpoint in every 20 milliseconds, just like a trajectory log file. Okay, we can able to modify it and simulate it and can view it. Okay, this is one way, but uh, I'm particularly I'm not using for this but reason. I'm using to evaluate the plan complexity metrics. Okay, and it is having the plan information or the patient information. Fine, the number of beams, total MU, what is the dose reduced for planning. Okay, and after that, it will give you the what do you say, plan complexity metric like average leaf gap in mu weighted one and the plan complexity by Mr. Yamamoto. It's also mu weighted. These values are given here. Apart from that, for the individual beam, it has given for individual beam, they given the beam parameters as well as the metrics here. Fine. For individual beam, the same metrics which given here. And if you move on to the radial plots, fine. So this is the radial plots we have already seen. That here you can see the maximum one as for the matrix value. The same way in this radial plots, top right corner, we can able to see the value mentioned over here. For the aperture area variability, the value is 0.9. Overall plan, not for the single beam, not overall, it's for the overall plan. Fine. So, yeah. So this is for, I'm just simply saying this is up to the dose rate, we know that. So the gantry speed, how the gantry speed is stable or like erratic, we can able to see. And the maximum MLC speed, and this is the collimator speed is fixed for this particular VMAT. And the control point density always stable and the first fixed one. The dose rate, how the dose rate is fluctuating over the during the arc delivery, and the same delivery on the particular point of view, we can able to check what is the average leaf gap. Okay, and the plan complexity as well, and the modulation index by sports model, and the local, so the temporal modulation index, this one. Okay, this is the small aperture. Hold on a second. And the small aperture score. This is the aperture area variability, and this is the modulation complexity score for VMAT. Okay, and the values mentioned here. Okay, and we can run the file. Hold on a second. Just keeping it here. See, you can see that the black dot which moving according to the plan, and this particular plan planned with like a high, very high beam aperture set controller setting. So it looks like uniform. Okay, pausing it right now. See, the main benefit is that at the particular gantry angle, we can able to get an insight like each and everything. For example, the small aperture, this is the small aperture score, and this is the aperture area variability. Like in a simple terms, it tells us how stable or unstable the aperture size is throughout the arc or the successive control points. Okay, So low aperture area variability is means size changes gradually, which is mean the inner radius of this one. Okay. If the high aperture variability, this location, this is one. Okay. The aperture size is changing rapidly. Okay. From here to here, it's a sudden change in aperture area. Okay. So while it's changing, it must be synchronized with every other machine parameters. Not only aperture area must be synchronized with the what do you say, the dose rate, MLC speed, gantry angle also. Okay. So more like the AAV indicates that how much the plan relies on reshaping the beam. Okay. This is for a single plan. And here we can able to enable the view for like for the particular structures. We can remove it, we can use it, but I don't know whether it's big use for us. It's up to you or to how we can use it. Okay. Okay, and here it will show you what is the gantry speed and MLC speed in the real time. Like in this particular here, what is the gantry speed and what is the dose rate of the particular gantry angle. We can able to visualize it. Okay, this is for a single plan. Okay, well, now we're moving on to the multiple plans. Okay, so this we have a three plan. This is the three plan for. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, fine. Three plan with a different controller settings. Fine. This is the controller aperture shape controller setting is off, and this caprice has a very high and very low. Fine. And so we can able to see the machine related parameters and overall plan information and the distribution of radial plots one by one. Okay. So we have kept three different aperture shape control settings. Low, I'm sorry, one more time. What is this? Oh, sorry, off, very high and very low. Off, very high, and this is very low. Fine. So based on that, we'll come to know how the dose rate is fluctuating for this one. We can able to evaluate the dose rate fluctuation. What is the leaf gap, average leaf gap, and also a small aperture score. Fine. So the small aperture score, like how much proportion of plan has a small apertures or the small segments. Okay. So here in this area, this is a small aperture is higher. Like you can able to see it here. Yeah. See here in this part. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. Here this can able to see this is the very small aperture. This particular small aperture is almost uniform because we use the very high aperture controller settings. Okay. So if you move on to here, I have selected this particular portion. The aperture is big and uniform. Sorry, the size is like large and uniform. Okay. If you're moving on to this, suddenly it is changing from here to small apertures. Fine. While we are having the say, small aperture area and how the how this particular aperture area variability and how this complexity modulation complexity score for VMAT is like behaving. We can able to evaluate in this particular section. Okay. The same way we can able to evaluate each and everything in a single window. Okay. We will get into this very detail in the next part of the video, not in this one. Okay, and there are some graphs given here with the different like device metrics and time, especially like MLC metric with the time and dose rate and these metrics we can use it. Okay, the most importantly, we can able to see if you select some like 70 or 80. Okay, same control point. I'm just selecting the control point here. Okay, fine. And this is half, very high, and low. Fine. So we can able to see even for the different aperture controller settings. See, this is the field for the same uh, plan. Sorry, the different plans. Okay. So this is the uniform and this kind of a staggered one. Okay. And the same way we can able to see what are the dose rate at particular control point and MLC speed, maximum MLC speed, what is the gantry speed. Fine. Well, this way we can able to evaluate multiple plans. Okay. I'm just selecting each and every. There are six controller settings are here. Okay. So we can able to see from half to very high what are the dose rate fluctuation, like how the dose rate is fluctuating through this each and every plan. Okay. And this is for the moderate. This is for the moderate. Okay. And moving on to the small aperture score, how the small apertures are like, it is almost the same pattern throughout the Gantt triangle. We can able to see how the aperture area variability for the multiple plans. It is like this particular plan, it was so gradual. There is no rapid spike or like there is no nothing like there is no gradual increase in there. This kind of plan seems okay. Okay. And there's one thing I have to explain for this modulus complexity score for VMAT. This particular value, if it is closer to one, is like if it is closer to one, which means that, hold on a second, it has a low complexity. Sorry, it has a low complexity. Where are we? One. Okay. If it is closer to zero, it is a highly complex plan and completely opposite to other metrics. It's completely opposite. Like if it is one means higher the aperture variability, zero means it's lesser here. The same goes for the small aperture score and other variable. And this particular score is completely different. Zero means like if it is closer to zero, it's a highly complex. It's closer to one means like very it's a gradual stable plan. Uh, I hope you can able to see this. Like here is the plan delivery simulator. Sorry, it's a plan delivery simulator. Here we can clone this entire package, like entire package, and we can run this. Either way, it has all the details, like complete source code is available. We can use it and we can modify it the way we want. Thank you. If you have any comments, just drop it in a comment. Drop it in the comment section. And also, I'll give you the other information in the description as well. Thank you.